Everyone, and welcome back to Knowledge is Power Podcast Live. I'm Tony Renfro, the host, and we're here every Sunday and Tuesday evening. Tonight, we've got a huge guest list tonight. We've got a huge show tonight, and we're going to have those folks on in a minute, but I want to let you know that we are in the voting season. And let me bring my co-host tonight. My special co-host tonight is Mary Bond. Mary, hello.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Are you okay? Everything's good?
Everything's good. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. I now I know how, you just don't know I feel funny being the same age as these old people. So anyway, look, tonight we're going to be doing a GOTV, go out to vote rally. And I've got special guests here with me tonight. And I want to remind our guests while we're getting started here that the voters registration deadline is only 15 days away. And I don't want you to sit this one out. You've got to vote. You've got to vote. Right, Mary?
That's right.
Yeah, the voters registration deadline is 15 days, only 15 days away. And we all know that we can't take anything for granted, and we're not going to take any chances. So this election is just too important. That's why I'm asking you to double check, all the viewers here, the audience that's watching this show. I want to make sure that you double check that you're registered to vote at your current address, or get registered if you're not already. Just remember this. This is the catch. We must flip Texas. Texas has almost as many electoral votes as Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, because you know that Trump won those three states by only 80,000 votes. So we can take that away and we can flip Texas, because we can block the Republican path to the White House. However, the margin of victory is going to be even thinner. So it's going to take every single vote to win, so including yours. So we want you to vote. If you're not voted, you're not registered to vote, please vote. I need you to check right now while you're watching the show, to make sure you're registered, your registration is current, and get every friend and family member you can to do the same. All right?
And you have to do that by October 5th. You have to register to vote by October 5th.
That's right. By October 5th, you must be registered. Knowledge is Power Podcast Live is a platform that shares important information by educating the Southeast Texas African American communities with valuable info on health, education, local politics, business, and personal finances. And tonight, let's bring on our guests here tonight, Mary. And it's going to be great tonight. I know you're feeling ready. You warmed up and ready to go. So I'm going to bring on our guest here. That's Joe Desatil, our Texas State Representative. Hello, Joe. Next one, he's a Cowboy fan, so I'm not going to introduce him. His head is big as Galveston right now. They got lucky and they won a game tonight by. I don't even want to go there. Jamie Smith.
Thank you for having me.
Out of Jefferson County District Clerk, right?
Yes, sir. How about them boys?
Oh Lord, here we go.
Just rub it in.
I got to hear this all week. All right, okay. No, we're gonna go to now Mary Hamm with the Texas Democrats Southeast District 4, right, Mary?
Yes, it's District 4.
District 4, correct. Yes. And Mary does a lot of work for the Democrat here in the Southeast Texas, and I am so thrilled to have her to be with us this evening. And I have Dr. Ramzi DAKOUR. Are you there?
Sir, I'm here.
All right, turn your little mic up a little bit. Turn your mic up so we can all hear you. There we go. All right, I'm glad to have you. I can see you well.
Cowboys fan.
Then I want to bring my favorite former Congressman Nikki Boo Lampson. How you doing, Nikki?
I'm doing great, Tony. Thank you. Thank you for having all of us. This is important.
Right. Okay. So now CLONIE, he's also with the Texas Democrats. Let's bring him on here. CLONIE Ambrose the third. Hello, Aaron. You there? All right. And Mary, your special guest, I'm going to bring on. You introduce us to everyone. Somebody's mic is open, and making some noise. I can't hear. Let's go.
Good.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey.
I've got a
I'm so
whole.
happy everybody came on. This is Cesar Delgado, you guys. He's a Lamar
I can't hear you, man. Turn your mic up, sweetie. We can't hear you. Can't turn your mic. Turn your mic up.
Can you hear me?
Turn it up a little bit more. I know you. All right.
Can you?
And then I'm also going to bring on Chris, the Constable, Jefferson County Constable. Where did he go? Chris, where did he go, Chris? Come back, Chris. Well, he'll come back in a few. So, Mary, let's get started here and let's talk about the GOTV.
Can you hear me, Tony?
I can hear you now. Very good now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. So I just wanted to get a couple of people together and talk about get out the vote efforts, talk about some volunteerism opportunities that are available in our local party with our upcoming elections. And I want to discuss some of our local candidates, Joe DeSchtel being one of them, and what they bring to the table and why it is so crucial for us to vote in this November 3rd election. So I invited a few people who I thought would know a little bit about getting out the vote, who have some experience in elections, who understand the same value system that I have about this election. And that's pretty much it.
No, don't hear anybody.
I can hear you.
Okay, I heard that. Heard us. I can hear you. Looks like Nick's talking, but I don't hear him. Nick, we can't hear you.
I can't hear.
I wonder. Can you hear me?
Now it's good.
You got me?
Yeah.
Yes, now.
What's causing the static? I was just going to say how proud I am of the service that Joe DeSchtel has provided in the Texas House of Representatives. And it's critically important for us to show support to people who have built to a point.
Hey guys, excuse me. Maybe
somebody-
we should mute ourselves when we're not talking.
Yeah, if you would mute your mic while if you're not talking, please, because I can't find where that noise is coming from. Okay, now Nick, you're talking now. Nick, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just talking about Joe and why.
Okay. I know we didn't hear anything because something was popping and noise, mic popping. So we've got it together now. Okay, go ahead, Nick.
Again, I was just talking about Joe DeSchtel, and why it's critically important for us to keep someone who has built himself up in a position of seniority in the Texas House of Representatives. We have lost so much strength in Southeast Texas in the last 20 years because of redistricting, because of the way the Republicans have gerrymandered every kind of district that touches us over here in our region. Protecting Joe in his position is of critical importance to us in Southeast Texas. So start out, Joe, we got to get you elected. What can we do to be helpful to you? You're a great public servant. You've been in the House of Representatives for a long time. You hold critical positions. I think you're number one importance for us.
Well, thank you very much, Congressman, for that. It is an important election, and people need to understand that seniority comes after a long time, and it makes such a difference. Particularly makes a difference in one, constituent services. I have a staff that most of them been with me over 10 years. And because of my length of service and my reputation in the legislature, there's not an agency head that Christian can't call, or Jackie can't call the agency and say, I'm from Representative DESTATL's office. We have a constituent that needs such and such. They run into a roadblock and get some help for that individual. I couldn't do that when I was a freshman, a sophomore. It took years to build that type of reputation and that type of knowledge of the system to be able to help your constituents. Is untold number of constituents services that we provide, and because of that seniority and because of the stature, of many years of service, these agency heads respond, and that is so important to the constituency. And then as far as legislation is concerned, it takes a long time to understand how to navigate the system, how to navigate a bill to get it to the governor's office, how to negotiate with your opposition so you can come to compromises where you need to and not when you don't. All those things come with experience of years of service, and we lose that whenever we change representatives or congressmen or whoever, and we get a freshman. There's a learning curve that may take several sessions, and during that learning curve, those constituents do not get the representation at the level that they had been receiving before. So yes, indeed, seniority, it has its meaning for individual members because we can do certain things for personally and picking offices or spaces and different things, but for the constituency, you can't beat seniority, particularly if it's a person that works with the community. I mean, I'm very accessible. My office is accessible. We try to return every phone call. We try to make sure that a person's issues have been addressed. We can't solve everybody's problem. I mean, that's for sure. We've had requests that we just can't do anything about. The issue is just not one that we can resolve, but we certainly going to try, and we certainly going to make ourselves accessible, and having a reputation at the Capitol to be able to work across party lines. If you want to get something done, there's a way to get it done. I've had bills over the past, ideas that I say, it's better that a Republican bring this forward because of the makeup of the Congress. I don't need credit. I just want to get it done. And so that is very important to be able to do that and feel comfortable doing that in order to, the end result is what's so important.
Well said.
Well, yes, Joe, great. And Joe, you've done a lot in our community, and we really appreciate you. And knowing that we're also helping those right now that was in the Hurricane Laura area. So we're fortunate to have you as our representative, and we're going to support you. But I brought Mary Hamm on with us because she doing a lot of work in our community as well. Mary, you there?
Yeah, I muted
All
myself.
right. Now I don't want you to mute yourself now because you're going to talk now. So tell us what you and Joe are doing, and don't give away our game plan, but just kind of let us know how we're helping Joe to get reelected.
Well, right now we're working on getting volunteers, and it's mainly like this. We're having a Zoom meeting on the 24th for volunteers. I'm not the really good, I'm just a person helping the people that are doing it. I'm just helping him out. It's not me itself. But, working with multiple people, and it's, you've got to do the phone banking. The actual block walking is not really a thing right now. People are doing literature drops where they're actually, just dropping off literature. But right now it's trying to get the volunteers out there for that. And that's basically what I'm doing, helping with his campaign.
Now, Joe, I think you have a Somebody's mic is open. It's making a noise again.
Yeah.
I don't know who mic is that. Let's see here. Let's see if I can find that mic that's making a noise. Nope, not you. I found it. Okay.
Oh, cool.
All right, great. So yeah, I got it. Okay.
It's
So
one of the important things people need to realize is if they want to volunteer, there is a ton of people that will absolutely give them something to do. There are, the Biden campaign, the state Democratic Party, Representative DeShatel. I mean, I'm sure Jamie Smith has got some things for people to do too. I mean, it's all about contacting the campaign and saying, I'm here, I'm willing to help. What can I do for you? Because, I mean, there's all kinds of things to do right now. Even though we're socially distancing, we're still working on getting messages out.
yeah. Now, Joe, tell us a little bit here. And I understand that you're having a drive-through on Thursday.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, this is the first I'm
Oh,
hearing
that's
of
the
it.
first you've heard of it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wait a minute.
I know on the 24th. Is that the 24th?
That's the 24th.
I know the 24th. There's a Zoom meeting,
Yeah, it's a Zoom.
organizational meeting.
Right.
Yes, it's going to be on a virtual meeting online with people who want to put yard signs, work the polls, and we're going to be discussing various ways you can assist the campaign. But if that's what I know, that's Thursday, and I know they've been working on that for a while. But
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of the drive-through.
No, I maybe I misunderstood. I've got some instruction that he was having something on the 24th, and I was assuming that was a drive-through. Because we need donation. Everybody needs support, and I'm sure that's what it could have been about.
Yeah, it's an organization to work the polls and get the down ballot, and make sure people know to go. You know, we no longer have straight ticket voting. We have to vote down ballot. It's very important that you do that because we can't just go in. We want you to go in and vote for Biden and Harris, but we also want you to go all the way down the ballot and vote for the rest of the candidates who are on the ballot.
Okay. Now, what can you do, Joe? Does it tell? How can you help prevent voter suppression as citizens at the polls? He left me. He's gone. He's gone. You. Well, Mary, take over.
Okay.
Joe.
What can you do to prevent voter suppression at the polls?
No, I was asking my co-host tonight.
Oh, sorry, different Mary.
Can she pick up from there? Well, thanks.
She might answer better than myself. I mean, as far as voter suppression goes, I mean, unless somebody else has to chime in, the basics of that, in my opinion, are making a certain group of people or any group of people feeling like their vote doesn't count or it doesn't matter. And that goes into a little more detail that I'm not going to go into. But I guess my goal tonight is to hype you up about this election. I need you to vote. I need you to register to vote. You can vote by mail, and that ends October 23rd, which is this week. This is the last week that you can do that. Early voting starts just on October 13th. We're going to have 3 full weeks of early voting, which is awesome because that gives you every opportunity to get there. If you need a ride, I know people who can give you a ride to the polls. There's no need for voter oppression this time. We need to believe that this is an important election. We know this is an important election. We need Trump gone. You know, he's just, I don't understand. I mean, he's just lost his mind. But there's really no excuse to not get to the polls and vote. Your vote does count. You know, I remember in my early 20s thinking, this stuff doesn't affect my household, right? That's what I would think. Like, it's just one vote. It doesn't really matter. Elections aren't that serious. Local elections are very serious. These people represent us, and they work for us in a certain way. And it's very important that we vote, like Joe said, all the way down the ballot, all the way to the bottom, because we can't straight ticket anymore. And if you ever need assistance with who's on that ballot and names, you can get a sample ballot with our Democratic candidates checked off at the local Democratic headquarters at 2211 Calder. And you can actually take that in to the ballot box and use that to check your candidates off. So once again, no excuse this year. We have to vote. We have to turn out. Your vote counts. You matter. And this election matters.
Well, Jamie, tell us this. You're the Jefferson County District Clerk, Jamie. Give our audience information on instructions on the year they could and how old they have to be to request mail-in applications and explain the process of this, so everybody's gonna be on one page.
Okay.
Oh, you're
Well, of course, if you're a senior citizen, you can request a mail. Can you hear me?
Yes.
yeah, you very well. No, we don't.
Okay. All right. Of course, if you're a senior, no. Yeah.
I
Of course,
hear
if
you.
you're a senior citizen, you request a mail-in ballot. But the most important thing is to let our college students know that have traveled out of the area that they can request a mail-in ballot and still vote in the local elections here in Jefferson County. And like Mary and Joe both stressed, everybody's so used to voting one and done. Well, that's gone. So we got to really vote down ballot to make sure that we take care of our local elected officials as well as Biden and Harris. So you would simply call the county clerk's office, 409-835-8760, and make a request for a mail-in ballot. And then they would send you the application out. You fill the application and then mail it back into the county clerk's office. And I believe the beginning of October is when they're going to start sending out the actual ballots for those who have requested a mail-in ballot.
Anyone else want to chime in on here or anything? But why you say when you say that, Jamie, is that also, and I think we talked about it earlier, that the Jefferson County Democratic headquarters is open, and it's open 4 days a week. That's Monday, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 2 to 6. At
It's actually, hey Tony, it's actually now open Monday through Saturday, 2 to 6.
Okay, from 2 to 6, or is it the same time, 2 to 6? Okay, great. And you can pick up yard signs. You can register for 2020 censor and also voters registration. And we need volunteers. Everyone needs volunteers. So,
Correct.
so who can jump in and let's talk about what we need in volunteers in every area.
Well, you definitely need volunteers still in voter registration, getting out there, getting people registered to vote and follow up, making sure that they go to the poll. I know one of the local attorneys, James Payne, is pushing to 1 to 7. Each person should reach out to 7 of their friends to make sure they actually go and vote. We need people to volunteer to go to the polls. We need people to volunteer to make phone calls. As you know, with COVID, really the block walking is really not as prevalent as it would be going door to door, but you can still do literature drops in certain areas, leave things on their door handle. The main thing is just getting people out to vote, get them out to vote and expressing the importance of it is how important this election is, not only on a national level, but also on the local level, such as keeping someone as experienced as Joe in office to make sure he's continually there to represent us.
Okay, yes. And Chris, I've got Chris Bates, the constable of Jefferson County in district. Is it district 1, Chris? 2. And basic value more south of Beaumont area that he works the south of Jefferson County. So can you tell me what you need and what we need to do to help the south end of Jefferson County to get to the polls and register and phone banks? What do we need? What help you need there?
So first off, just thank you all for allowing me to be here and just share the stage with all these great individuals. And special thanks to Mr. Ambrose and Mr. CESAR, the students that I've known since they were in high school, and I'm very proud of what they've been doing in our community. So shout out to those young people. But in Port Arthur, there's a lot that could be done in Port Arthur. I think a lot of times people feel like that their vote doesn't count, or they're going to do whatever they want to do because Beaumont is the biggest city in the county. But it's time out for all that. It's important for us all to work together in the Democratic. Important for us to work in the Democratic Party from both of the cities and the county wide to understand that we have a job to be done. And Port Arthur actually is a place that if we vote the way that we should vote, then we can be one of these elections hand down. So I've been working with a couple of young groups in Port Arthur um, that we plan on really pushing out. First, educating people on who's going to be running and things of that nature, but also just making sure that people are getting out to vote. Because if Port Arthur votes at least 25, 30%, then we're going to be in a situation where we'll be on top of any election democratically, well over 1,002 votes compared to the Republican opponent. So it's important that we step up in Port Arthur and we just get engaged with the voting process as far as phone banking and letting and reaching people now since COVID is among us, utilizing those social media platforms and things of that nature, because all that is going to pay off in the long run. And this election, as we all know, is very important, even more so with the passing of our justice earlier this week. So it is very important that we get on the ball and that we work together. Women constant communication with our Democratic chair to what's going on in Port Arthur. So we're going to do our part, but communication is key. And if you can see where we can help each other, then we're going to do that. And we're also going to really be starting this apartment complex campaign here in Port Arthur, especially in my precinct. I have probably about 90% of all the apartment complexes in my precinct. So we're going to continue to doing some things, on that aspect of it, because the other party, we don't like to, talk about it, but they're doing things, so we're going to have to do things and do them even better. And that's the plan moving forward.
All right. Chris, I know you have another engagement, and that's why I wanted to bring you in quite early so you can let us know what you're doing, what we're doing in Port Arthur and at south of Jefferson County. And so we thank you for coming, and we don't want to hold you up, but I appreciate you coming on, and I'd like to have you come back again, okay?
Yes, sir. Well, I'll actually be able to hang out a little bit early. The event that I was speaking of ended a little bit early, so I'm good. So if you need to ring me back in, just let me know. I'll stay on till we finish up.
All right, great. Then I have CJ DeGato. Let me turn your mic on and see if I've got your mic on. Yeah, let me turn it on for you. So there we go. Are you on? Okay, you got turn your mic on. Unmute your mic. There we go.
All right.
All right.
Can y'all hear me?
All
Can y'all
right.
hear me good?
Yes, I can. What can you do? What are you doing now? I know you stepping up right now to the plate now, and you're making sure that we get the young votes out, right?
Most definitely. So first and foremost, thank you for having me. My name is Cesar Delgado. I am the communications director with the Southeast Texas Young Democrats. And, I think every election season, especially when it comes to the presidential election, we hear the quote, "This is a historical election." And we hear that nonstop. But I really do feel that at this very moment we are fighting for the spirit of our nation, and not just our nation, but our local and even state politics. So I feel that as first Democrat, and being a young Democrat, one of the issues that really is a topic of interest, for young people is environmental issues. That is something that our generation is going to inherit, from the previous generations. And these issues are very important. For this reason, I do want to talk about in an election that not a lot of people are giving a lot of importance to because they may not be very educated on it. And it's the railroad commissioner election. So with the that particular election, that is very important because it directly affects the environment. So I do want to talk about the Democratic candidate, Krista Castañeda. She is running an excellent campaign that is centered around environmental issues. If you go to her website and talk about the issues that she is fighting for, I could say about 80% of it revolves around the environment. So that is one individual that we need to keep in tabs on because she's fighting a good fight, and not just for now but for the future of our nation, our state.
Okay, sorry. Tony had to take a break. I'm sorry. I had to walk out because of my child. Thank you, Caesar. Hey, Ramzi, Dr. DAKOUR, I'm glad you're here. What do you have to say about getting out the vote and being careful with all of the COVID precautions? How can we navigate, winning this election and being present and accounted for, but also being safe so that we can all stay healthy through this process?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's an important question. I mean, we all know that this is really going to be one of the, if not the most important election of our lifetimes. And so we know we want to get it right. We want to get out the word to as many people as possible to get out and vote and to really inspire people to go out and vote. And with COVID, that kind of throws a little bit of a wrench into it because, it's hard to really meet face to face with people. Go door to door. That's really not safe. So I think the Democrats are doing it right at this point. They're kind of laying off of the going door to door because I don't think actually too many people would appreciate strangers going to their door anyway with this going on. So I think they're doing it right. If you look at the convention, everyone kind of thought, oh well, the convention's not going to be live, it's not going to be in person, and we didn't think that was going to go well. But actually, the convention was probably the best Democratic convention they've ever had. So it really gives us an opportunity to kind of think outside the box and reach people other ways. That's why it's really important to phone bank or text ban, just any other way besides going door to door. I mean, we don't want to pack people in the stadiums like Trump's doing. That's not safe. So I think they're doing it right. We just need to. There's plenty of other opportunities to reach people, virtually, just like we're doing right now on the Zoom call. So I think it's definitely doable.
Thank you. Maybe we can spend a little bit of time talking about each of our local candidates. I know that we spoke a little bit about Joe DeChapelle. Of course, we all support you, and we are here for you to help you with anything in your campaign. But let's talk a little bit about Zena. We have Zena running for sheriff, and she does have a Republican opponent. Nick, do you want to talk a little bit about Zena?
Mary, we can hardly hear you. Somebody's mic's open. There's a lot of static.
Your mic. Okay, is that better?
Much better.
Okay, sorry, y'all. So I was just saying that we've talked a little bit about Joe DeChapelle and his race, and we all support you. And but what about Zena? We have Zena Stevens for sheriff. We have Javon Pollard for precinct 1 constable. So maybe I don't know, Bates. How do you feel about talking a little bit about Javon?
All right. So Javon Pollard, Constable Pollard is definitely our candidate. Um, I I'm just biased towards her because she used to work for me. She's one of my deputies when we were working in when she worked in Port Arthur for a little while. So she has the experience. I can attest to that because I helped train her in the civil process, and she has the training that she's been afforded now since she has been the constable, since she filled the unexpired term. So we definitely know she's experienced in what she does and knowing how to do the job. And it's important that we all know that everybody just cannot be the constable. And then a lot of times, uh, people think that it's something that you can just wake up or, nothing against it. But if you worked so many years in the police department, then you can come and just be the constable, and it does not work like that, because there's a lot of specialized training that is required to be in this position. So, and she has that training, she has that experience, and then also even more so, she has just a love for. And you all know here that to yourself that if you're in politics, you have to have a love for the people, and she has that love for her community. If you follow her on social media, follow her on anything, you'll know that she is definitely been involved in our community, as far as from these hurricanes and these storms, emergency management, giving back to our young people and giving back to our senior citizens, and doing whatever she can to make the community a better place. And that is what you need in the constable. She also works alongside with all the other constables in the area in our county to make things move forward. So I can't vote for Javon because I'm in Port Arthur, but I'm telling everybody I know that's in her precinct to go ahead and get her reelect her for a constable in precinct 1, and I'm gonna do whatever I can to help her and all the other candidates on this Democratic slate.
Thank
It's
you.
it's critically
Who
important.
wants?
There's so much that we have to do in our community, and we've had so many problems along the way with the loss of people who evacuated and didn't return. Our population has shifted. There's more talk about people being concerned about staying in our area. So if we don't show true leadership, and we've got good people in offices, if we don't show real, true leadership and visionary ideas that we put forth and talk to our citizens about, then we're going to continue to see our region slip. And as the region slips with population, it's going to slip economically, and we cannot allow that to happen. We have to be involved. We have to be doing things to support our candidates, promote people to do what Jamie was talking about a while ago, and James Payne, 1 for 7. If every one of us would start making our list and carrying it with us and talking to people every day or every other day and ask them how they're doing with their list of 7, and they in turn, how are they doing with their list of 7, we can have a great turnout. And I know I've probably said this too many times and people have heard it, but please keep in mind 1960, and I know for some of y'all that's a long time back. 1960, John Kennedy won election to the presidency, and Jack Brooks, who was a great congressman for our 9th congressional district, motivated people in our area to turn out in greater numbers than had turned out in the previous election. And believe it or not, John Kennedy won his presidential election by 60,000 votes, which was 1 vote per precinct across the United States of America, 60,000 precincts. But the increase in vote in this area was 60,000 votes. We helped put John Kennedy in office. And y'all, if you just keep that in mind, we can do that again for Joe DeSatel and for Javon Pollard and for Sheriff Zena Stevens. And those are critically important things for us to be working on.
Absolutely, Dick. Mary Hamm, would you like to add on to that, please? I think she stepped away. Okay.
No, I muted myself.
Okay, she's there. Okay.
Okay. What people need to consider, and this goes along with voter suppression, before they go to bed tonight, they need to go to votetexas.org. check and see if they're registered to vote. If you haven't voted in a while, your vote could be on suspension. You need to make sure that you're registered to vote. If you're not registered to vote, you need to go online and fill out the card and have them send it to you to sign so that you can get registered to vote by October 5th. Okay?
Yes, yes, please do. People, we've been talking about this for the last 60 days on Knowledge is Power podcast. We want everybody to vote. We want everybody to register. We want everybody to register for 2020. This is a constant reminder that we want you to do this. We have to vote like we never voted before in our life. Your life depends on this. And when I say that our lives depends on this, we just had a death in the Supreme Court. And now they're trying to bomb rush on the floor to a vote. And this is the reason why we must vote. That is going on too long. All they want is power, and we got to step up.
They're absolutely going against the president that they themselves set, that you don't vote for or you don't appoint and confirm a Supreme Court justice after the primary.
Right.
They're going against it. So.
Yeah, and we're less than 48 days, 42 days for the election date, and they're trying to rush the judge in there on us. So it's going to depend on us. Like Nick LAMPSON said earlier, if we come out and vote in Southeast Texas, Jefferson County, we can be the number that's going to flip Texas as well. And if we can flip Texas, we've got enough electoral votes in Texas to flip the Senate. So, guys, I appreciate you guys coming here and helping us, because we've got some great candidates that's running for a re-election and election, and we need them in here, because we don't. That's going to be a step backwards to us.
Tony, can I say something
Sure.
about we were talking about the Supreme Court, and one of the things, if we could get the word out, I just think it's so important that Trump is currently in court trying to do away with the Affordable Care Act and doing away with the pre-existing conditions. We're facing a pandemic that COVID, if you're affected by COVID, that would be considered a pre-existing condition. I cannot understand anyone voting for President Trump who depends on insurance and Medicare, Medicaid for their health care. And if they had COVID once and it mutates or something, it changes and they get it again, if he has his way, they would not be able to get any treatment through their insurance. Absolutely. Not just through COVID, through any type of pre-existing condition. And he is hell-bent. He's in court trying to do away with that Affordable Care Act. And he keeps saying that he's going to propose something better. But everyone knows that you don't propose this overnight. He's been there 4 years and has not put forward a plan to replace the Affordable. So the plan is just to do away with it at the behest of the insurance companies. And how can a person who depends on who has any type of health care issues can support a man that cares so little about their health care, that cares so little about their health, and continues to support this guy? I don't understand it, but we need to let people know that if he's successful in winning, they would no longer have insurance. They will no longer have insurance on any pre-existing condition that they might have, and everyone has some condition. I think it's important that we get that word out.
Absolutely, Joe. Now I have here, I'm going to move here. I found those answers that I was looking for earlier, and I'm going to go back to that, Joe, because you've got a big thing on the 24th, and I don't know if you recognize, but your podcast is going to be on the 24th, and it will be hosted by Alice RAMZI at 7 p.m. To discuss campaign issues that.
Right, that's what I was talking about.
Right,
yeah.
Every voting citizen need to be aware of of it. So especially those who desire to help us win this election and make Jefferson County blue. You're doing that this Thursday, and I want everyone to tune into that and be aware of that. And I want to take another moment and make sure you guys know about on Tuesday, September the 22nd. I posted up here on it's the Operation One. Operation One will have a visual candidate forum. It will be held on again Tuesday, April 22nd at 6 p.m. on Zoom, and it will be viewed on Facebook Live. So put that on your notebook, notepad, and let you know that the Operation One vote by founder Bobby Patterson is going to be presenting and hosting and being the moderator of this forum. That's this Tuesday at 6 p.m. on Zoom and Facebook Live. So that's going to be, and the candidate that's going to be attending is going to be Chef Zena Stevens, David Odom, Vernon Pierce, Dr. Marinette Parkinson, Constable Javon Pollard, Mark Mann, and Texas State Representative, our guest tonight, Joe Desatil, Randall and Jay Stetterberg, and Adrian Bell. They're all going to be on this particular forum on Tuesday. So please join in on that and watch that show. So, and again, because we're all supporting our candidates. And like Christopher Bates said earlier, that we've got to do it 2 times better than the red. They're doing their part. Now we got to do our part. We can't get beyond outdone. So this is why I use this platform on Knowledge is Power podcast, is to make sure that we get knowledge to our people, make them know that we're giving them formal information on what to do, how to vote, and when to register. We need the votes. I'm talking too much. I'm fired up now. We need to vote. We need to get these people out and vote. Remember that you need signs, you need banners, you need doorknobs, whatever you need. We've got at the Jefferson County Democratic headquarters. I got carried away there. Okay, y'all go ahead and talk what y'all want to talk about, but I say what I had to say. Yes, sir. I'm gonna go back to Dr. DeCour. Have you spoken tonight?
I did. And no, that was a impassioned plea by yourself, and I totally agree. I don't think we could underscore enough how important this election is and what's at stake here for really every American. So, I mean, even if you've never voted before, this is a time. This is the time to go out and vote, because this is when it really counts the most. So, I completely agree with you on that.
All right. Let me see. I forgot one other guest. I don't think that we've got a chance to let's see if I can get him here. There we go. Is he there? He's still spinning. There we go. Mr. Ambrose. Mr. Ambrose
Yes, sir.
spoke tonight.
Hey,
How y'all doing?
All right. Are you working with the volunteers for the Texas Democrat colonies?
Yes, sir, I am. Yes, sir, I am. I want to just say a few minutes. Thank you again for having me on the show.
I appreciate you here.
Yes, for my fellow colleagues tonight, thank you so much. Again, my name is Colonel Ambrose III. I am a 22-year-old graduating senior. I just recently graduated from Wiley College with my bachelor's in mass communications. I'm currently getting ready to start my master's next month. And so I just want to come on here very briefly and just get people out to vote, volunteer opportunities. What we need is people who are willing to work and not be lazy. We need people who are willing to work the polls. I think we need a few people for the phone bank. I think it's about 10 or 11 people working for the phone bank, or is it more than that, Ms. But
We need phone bankers. We need people to work the poll.
Yeah, the phone
we
bank.
need it. I mean, there's not a number for phone banking, but because of COVID, that's going to be more of our outreach than block walking. So we have a script where we're going to be hitting tier 1 low propensity voters, meaning they are Democrats, they're registered Democratic voters, but they don't vote. So we're reaching out to them currently through phone banking. It's very simple. It's a script. You just need a tablet or a laptop and a phone. And also, once early voting starts, we're going to be pulling sheets, and there's going to be somebody who's been active in the Democratic Party for a long time who's going to be hosting a phone bank at her home, and all COVID procedures will be followed, but they will be phone banking every day, following up with people who have not voted.
Mary, may I ask a question about college students? We have many students who are registered to vote here who are away at college. Are we specifically reaching out to them, reminding them to apply for their mail-in ballots?
Asking them for their mail-in ballots?
For their application for a mail-in ballot. Are they prepared to be able to vote from where they're going to college?
I do not have an answer for that.
I know that I'm responsible for two. I have two grandsons who are up at college. They will be voting, and I will see to it that they get their ballots. We need to all be doing that.
I agree.
Yeah, I know there are a few people that work at Lamar who are taking that up. I have not followed up with them. I don't know how that's going. So thank you for the reminder, and I will reach out to some of those people. You know, those votes matter. I mean, you're right, Nick. I don't know.
And
maybe
we have a lot of people. We have a lot of people also who live overseas, and they still have connections here. They are citizens here. They can vote, but we need to remind them and help them in many instances get their ballot application in and receive their ballot. Just reminding. And what reminded me was Mr. Ambrose. You're 22 years old. I think you're the youngest person that's on this call. We've got to motivate young people to help us. Joe can't get elected if it's just the 8 or 10 of us sitting around talking about these things. We've got to act. It's time for us to move it and move it hard now.
Right now. I want to add that. Right now. I want to add that.
Yeah, you're right. You make good points, Nick. CESAR being at Lamar would be a wonderful asset to what you're talking about with mail-in application ballot system. I mean, CESAR, is there anything you can do at Lamar to start, you know, full? I mean, we only have a few more days for mail-in applications. I think it ends this week.
Yes, I am aware that Lamar University has done an amazing job in stepping up when it comes to keeping students civically engaged. So, you know, once again, you know, talking good about that institution, you know, they're doing a good job stepping up, you know, helping us as young people step up. And not only that, but, you know, just in general, you know, young people are really, really riled up about this particular election because, you know, we know that it's a very important election. And I mean, the last few words I'm going to say is you know, voting is a right, but if anything, it's also a responsibility. And with that responsibility comes with becoming knowledgeable on the candidates that we're voting for. A knowledgeable voter is a responsible voter. So, you know, it's up to us to continue going and researching and figuring out what our candidates stand for.
Hey, you know, I want to ask one more question, but before I go to that question, and I thank you so much, CJ, what you're doing at the campus, and one of our guests that's watching, one of our viewers watching, saying and making a statement here, a comment, and maybe I can post that. And this is some good information here, and it's from Frederick Fugilier. And it's saying if students live outside of their normal county of residency, they can register in the county of their campus residency. Right? Okay. Well, that's very important. So make sure, CJ, when you're out on the campus, you let them know what's going on. Give them the information they need to have there. Okay.
All right, we'll do.
Yeah, that's very important, and also I'm gonna when I close the show, I'm gonna close it strong because I've got something else I need to say. But I want to go back to Dr. DAKOUR. I want him to talk to us just a little bit more, add in about the criminal justice reform, please. I'm gonna unmute your mic. Here we go. There we go. That'll do it. Now you have to do it on your end now.
All right,
No, there we go.
okay. Yeah, I mean, you brought up about Justice Ginsburg passing away recently, and that just goes to show you how important elections are. I mean, here we are. Donald Trump lost the popular vote by 3 million people, and he would have appointed 3 out of the 9 people on the Supreme Court. It's kind of ludicrous that can happen with our system. So, one thing that we need to talk about is reform of the Supreme Court as well. But also online in this election, we haven't talked about it, is social justice reform and criminal justice reform. And that's a big issue that we need to have a conversation about as a country, and that conversation is going to be put to the side if Joe Biden is not elected. That's not going to be taken seriously if he's elected. So, and that's something huge that we really need to talk about, the role of policing in our country and the role of systemic racism in our country. So we need to get Joe Biden elected, and we need to elect as many Democrats as possible so we can continue to have a discussion. So I mean, there's something on the plate for everyone this election to vote for. There's an issue that every single person can find to get inspired to vote for on this election. We don't have any excuses. We just need to go out there. We need to vote. We need to vote early, and we need to just get everyone we can to go out there and vote.
Absolutely, we got to get everybody out to vote, and the young guys here, CJ and Clonie, Ambrose, working with the youth, the young people that get out there to vote. So I'm going to do. Wait a minute, hold on. Let me get this noise out. There we go. So again, I want to say this, and maybe I didn't say it, and I think Mary Hamm has something to say because I think Mary Bonds. You kind of turn it around a little, but then we're gonna turn it back the right way. Which go ahead and add in on
I
that.
screwed up. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, we know that now. So, Mary Hamm, explain that and let's correct that right quick, please.
Okay, something important for people to understand in the state of Texas: when you register to vote, unlike in some of the other states, you're not registering with a party. That first time you vote in the primary, that tells people what party you're in. So until you vote, we don't know what you are. They're talking about hitting up the tier 1 voters. Y'all, there's so many tier 1 voters out there. We really need to call them. I mean, we could take 100 volunteers and just call tier 1 voters, because the tier 1 voters are those people that have never voted. They've been registered for years and they've never voted. And that is one of the things that really gets onto me. Why? Is it fear? Is it a problem with getting to the polls? I mean, in the general election, nobody knows what you're voting. So it doesn't matter. The important thing is that you have a voice. And if you don't vote, you're silent. And one of the things that I've been working on today is a quote by Judge, the big RBG. And it's like, if you're neutral in situations of injustice, you have chosen to side with the oppressors. And the thing is, right now, there is so much injustice going on in this world. And there's so much potential for more injustice. If you don't stand up and take a step forward and vote, you're siding with the people that are going against you.
You're right.
So do it. I mean, just whatever it takes. If you know somebody that doesn't vote, has never voted, offer to bring them to the polls. Hold their hand. Okay? Let's turn those tier 1s into a tier 3. Okay? That's
Well
that's
said.
that's a big thing with me. We've got to vote. Okay? And and it's a small thing but a big thing at the same time. I mean, it really is. And honestly, I wish that we did. I wish that we registered people according to the party they wanted. But at the same time, there are people in the state of Texas that don't feel like an affiliation with either party. And those people generally vote in just the
Yeah.
general election. So just keep up the work, Mary. Sometimes we're riding blind until we know any better.
Right, you're right, and that's quite a few people have not even voted in decades, and these are people that we need to get out and work with and encourage them to go out and vote. Like Mary Hams just said, if we just got to take them, just vote this time, please. We've got to get it and turn them into tier threes. And also, I want to add this part too, and I know you all agree with me, is that this election, which early voting starts October 13th. Let's vote early. No excuses. Right, Jamie? No excuses. Let's vote early. And let's everybody vote early. And let me also say this: those that are 65 years and older, you can request your mail-in application to vote by mail. And if you're 65, you're going to make 65 for October 13th. You can register for that. You can ask for that, request for that. You can vote. I want everybody to vote. Once you get your mail in, I want you to vote. Then don't wait. Carolyn Guidry is going to have a drop off in front of the courthouse during the early voting. So you can bring your drive by and just drop off. Make sure you have your ID with you so you can drop your mail in right then, right on the spot. But let's vote, people. I want you to vote early, so we won't have an excuse on November the 3rd. I want you to vote. Don't tell me, and I don't want to hear it afterwards, that you're upset because things didn't work out because you did not go vote. You want to know why we have a criminal reform system of criminals? The majority of us are in prison is because you do not go vote. You want to know why we got a thug in the White House right now? Because you did not go vote.
Say, Tony.
Yes, sir.
Before we end, I just wanted to say something because I think it's just so important and significant. We have CJ and we have Chloe Ambrose on the line. We need the youth vote. We need the young people to get involved. And I'm so proud of Chloe when he graduating so quickly from college. And he attended the inauguration with Barack Obama's second inauguration along with me and 3 other students that I brought up to DC. And I like to feel like that has something to do with him getting so excited about politics, or his mother's on the school board. So he's got that kind of background, but it's so important for young people like he and CJ to get involved in politics, and Mary and other young folks to understand how significant a role political involvement plays in their everyday life. I'm just very proud to see the reaching out of the young folks and understanding that this is a serious situation.
It really is. And Nick, you would like to add anything there with that? Want to chime in on that?
I was just reminiscing as Joe was talking, and he's absolutely right. We've got to inspire young people to participate. They are the future, not just of the Democratic Party, but of our democracy. If they don't understand what's going on with the way our communities work, with our way our counties work, our state and federal government work, we stand a chance of losing it, particularly when we have someone in the White House right now who is acting more like an anarchist than he is a president. He's not following the Constitution. He's not being respectful. He's not doing things that each and every one of us want and need and try to promote in the goodness of our daily lives. And my reminiscing was about the fact that Joe DeSatel and I, just for 2 people on this call right now, were presidents of the student body at Lamar University. I don't know about others. There may be others on here, but the fact that we got interested in public service as students at Lamar and played a role in student politics, and look where it led us. He spent years in the Texas House of Representatives, done major things for people of Southeast Texas. I spent 10 years in the U.S. House of Representatives, and all we want is to be good public servants. And the way we can do that is by motivating our friends to participate in these elections. It's critical, ladies and gentlemen. Please do not miss this election and vote Democratic.
Yes, yes. Well,
and thank you to all of you who paved the way for us and correct us when we need to learn what we're saying isn't right.
yeah.
Because
Well,
that's
I
how
appreciate.
that's how young people get excited, because we have people like Nick and Jamie and Joe, who are willing to talk to us and work with us and teach us, because I mean, I still have so much to learn, but it's been fun,
Yeah. Well, great, Mary. You're learning. Just take one day at a time, one step at a time. Hey, Jamie, you're in the last word. I'm gonna go around the table. I'm gonna go around the screen here, and we're gonna get the last word. Jamie.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Just remember, go out and vote. And like you said, we didn't mention Zena, but she's running for re-election, and she's done a phenomenal job the past 3 years, especially with all the hurricanes and disasters that we've had. She's done outstanding. So make sure we get out and vote for her. And like you said, vote down ballot. That's the main thing. And get all those out there that can vote to vote, especially the youth. We are counting on you guys to help carry us over the threshold.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought Zena up, because she has done I'm gonna piggyback on you, is that she has done a fantastic job, and she's doing it, and we've got a long way to go, but she's doing what she's doing. So did that make sense when I said that? Well, anyway, I'm sounding like somebody I know in DC. So anyway, let's go here to Mary Ham. Mary, any last words?
I don't think we can say go vote enough times, but I'm going to say, remember, get registered. Make sure your registration is current. Make sure you haven't moved since you last registered to vote. And then, 6:30 on the first day of early voting, go be sitting out there waiting for them to open the polls. Is that much to ask?
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. That's what I said. We're going to vote early. We vote early. I don't care. Bring your lawn chair. We're voting early, hard and heavy. Nick.
I was trying to see some of the top candidates on the ballot. MJ Hager is running for the U.S. Senate. She's first on the ballot. We need to make sure that if you don't know someone on this ballot, please pick up the phone and call a Democratic headquarters and ask something, so that you don't leave anyone off. Don't skip a vote. Ask your friends, and then when you are ready to vote and you have your list, take someone with you. Take 7 someones with you.
That's right.
Get the list, get it now, be ready to vote, and we're going to have a great evening on November the 3rd, when the Democrats win from the White House to the courthouse in Jefferson County.
Amen. I like that, Nick. Mr. Andrew. And if
Yes,
last word you
again.
want to say, sir.
Yes, again, thank you for the opportunity. And again, as everyone has said tonight, please let's get out and vote. Let's not march and protest and then we don't vote. If you did all of that, then you wasted your time. So let's just get out and vote. As we said, we're going to vote early, and let's try to vote on the first day, if possible. The first day of early voting. Let's get out, exercise our right to vote. And let's get the job done.
Thank you. Thank you. Dr. DAKOUR.
Yeah, just quickly, one name that hasn't been mentioned a lot this broadcast is Adrian Bell. Adrian is running for the second time against Randy Weber, getting better each time. She's a teacher. We need more teachers out there in politics. She's a smart woman, so Black women are the backbone of the Democratic Party. Make sure you vote them into office anything you did. So just remember to check out Adrian Bell as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Chris Bates.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Again, man, it's time to step up. We know what we need to do, and we need to know we know how important it is to do that. So let's get out Port Arthur. I'm challenging Port Arthur. You know, I'm born and raised Port Arthur. I love my city, and I'm gonna tell them to get on out to vote. You know, we can see who can vote. We can see who's registered to vote, and we're gonna be working on it. If I see your name on there and you hadn't cast your vote, I'm coming to find you. Okay, so if you don't want me to bug you to death, you need to go ahead and get out and vote. And like Clonie said, you know, we cannot speak about change and not about voting in the same sentence. It doesn't even make sense. So, you know, people will let you march all over this United States, but if you're not marching to the voting polls, then they're not going to get scared. But once we start marching to the voting boxes, that's when you're really going to scare some folks. So while we do have the attention and we have some civil justice and things going on, let's make sure that we're voting and doing what we have to do in all our Greek organizations. We have the Alphas here. My frat brother Joseph Desatel is there, and all our Greek organizations. Let's get out. We have national programs, so let's get out and vote. We got the Omega Man up there, Mr. Jamie Smith. You know, so let's make sure that we're doing what we need to do as far as our Greek organizations as well.
Joseph Desatel.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for the opportunity to speak to you all. We have such an important task ahead of us. This upcoming election has so many consequences for our community and for the United States. I mean, we're seeing our democracy unravel right in front of our eyes. We're seeing people doing things that we never thought would ever happen. We become desensitized to such foolishness, and see presidents act like they have no respect for anybody. I mean, the things that he said just today regarding another candidate is just something you wouldn't have heard of in the United States in any of our lifetimes, even in history. Some of the language that the president of the United States uses when he refers to other candidates for president of the United States. It's really time that we make a change and do something to save this democracy.
Thank you, Joe. And CJ DELGADO.
Yes, as someone who is involved with the Young Democrats, you know, we often talk about how we got to vote for the future, but we have to understand that the future is here, the future is now, the future is 2020, and this election could catapult us into the next 2-3 decades, or it could set us back 2 or 3 decades. So it's very important that we show up, show out, and go out to vote.
Thank you, everybody. It's been great to have each and every one of you here, and I really appreciate you. And I want those who's watched this night or who's going to watch it later tonight, tomorrow, the next day, please share with your friends and your families, and those who need to hear this, needs to know this. Or you can go to my Facebook page, Knowledge is Power Podcast, and you can pick up this all kinds of literatures on what we're doing and what the platform of what we're trying to do here in Southeast Texas. And we want you to vote. We want you to vote like your life depends on it. And we need volunteers. Volunteers is going to be very important, that we get as much volunteers as we can. And also the young voters, I appreciate you guys for pushing, and we're going to push hard because you're next. You're next. You're in the batter's box. I mean, you're on deck. So you're next to get to the plate, and we want you ready right now. We want you guys to be prepared to swing at those curveballs that the political party plays. And let me tell you guys, when you get in the political party, Nick, you already know. All you guys on this screen knows it get dirty, it get nasty, and we want you guys to know that comes. That's part of the territory. That's part of the game. So we want you to play hard. So now, folks, I want you to tell everybody that you see.
Hey, Tony.
Power. Yes, sir.
Hey, real quick, we mentioned we have a Democrat running for Commissioner Precinct 1,
Yes.
write-in candidate,
Right.
write-in. So that's important that we get that out.
Yes, she's a write-in candidate. For people, listen to this. She's a write-in candidate, and you just cannot vote for her. I mean, you can vote. You got to write it in. So I've got a little video, and I want you guys. It's only a 60-second video, and it's going to give you instructions on how to vote for Marinette Parkinson. All right, she's going to be a write-in, so she's not going to be on the ballot, but you have to go, and when you vote, you got to write her name, M-A-R-I. Here's a little video.
Hello, my name is Marinette Landry Parkinson, and I would like to represent you as the next Jefferson County Commissioner of Precinct 1. Therefore, I'm asking that you would write my name on the ballot. That's M-A-R-I, Mary, on your ballot. And on today, I'm going to present to you a video on how to do that exactly. However, if you're going to do a mail-in ballot where you have the physical ballot in your hand, you are going to look for the section that says Jefferson County Commissioner Precinct 1. And you're going to bubble in, write in, and then you're going to actually physically write in Mary, M-A-R-I, on your ballot. Now, concerning going to the polling station, this video is going to cover that. And in the video, I want you to pay careful attention to how you are going to do that. It's not difficult.
Recently, we were asked, how do you vote for a write-in candidate on the touchscreen? In Chicago, this is a demonstration ballot, so you see candidates like Abraham Lincoln and Everett McKinley Dirksen and Harold Washington. So let's say I'm voting and I want to make my selection for President Abraham Lincoln. I touch the screen and the X appears. For U.S. Representative, I look at the candidates and I want to vote for Harold Washington. But let's say for U.S. Senator, I want to vote for a write-in candidate. In this case, you simply touch the write-in space and a keyboard appears. Now I type in the name of the write-in candidate I want to vote for. When I've typed in the full name of John Doe, I hit OK. And now it has stored it. And next on the review screen, you'll see my selections for Abraham Lincoln, John Doe, and Harold Washington all appear.
Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully that video cleared up any concerns or confusion you had concerning a write-in candidate. That's M-A-R-I, Mary. Once again, please continue to share, like the digital card, the video, so that we can get the information out concerning a write-in candidate. Thank you.
She's going to be, wait, let me get off the screen. Here we go. Marinette is going to be running for write-in as commissioner. Is it Commissioner 1 or 2? I know she said it, but I can't remember now. I'm doing some other things on the back screen. 1. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was on the back screen. I was back in the back screen working on some other things with material that I want to make sure we understand that we've got to vote and who the people we're voting for. So I'm just going to flash a few of the candidates that are running for and running for election and running in the election in November. I have all the material now, so we want you guys to know that we're going to vote, and you're not going to be ignorant when we vote. You're going to know who to vote for, and so I want to make sure that I get all my candidates on that we're voting for in this this coming election. And so I've got all those material for you. You don't need anything you don't have questions to ask, and you can go to the Democratic headquarters and pick up all of those material that you might need to know how to vote. And again, I want to thank my guests for coming on, and I want to also remind you people one more time for the Operation One Vote Zoom on Tuesday at 6 o'clock on Facebook Live and Zoom. So be sure you prepare yourself for that on Tuesday. And next Tuesday, not the next Tuesday, but the following Tuesday, I will have Constable Javon Pollard. She will be my guest for 1 hour on Knowledge of Power Podcast Live. Each Tuesday, I'm going to have a guest from one of the candidates in the local candidate in the election. And also, I want to dive into Port Arthur election, local election too. So we're going to do a lot. We've got a lot going on. We got a lot to do. We got a lot of work to do. We got work to go. We need to vote. We need these people register to vote. We want to make sure everyone is voting come this election. Did I say it all? Okay, wait a minute. I've got it showing here. Chat me. Wait a minute. Wait a second. Good job, everybody. Oh, thanks, Nick. Thanks. Everybody. Okay. So, if those who see the video here and you want to watch this show again, you can go to YouTube and subscribe to Knowledge is Power Podcast Live, and you can see every show from the day going back. So, with that said, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. I want to probably get you in here for that two minute warning a couple of days before the Sunday before the November 3rd, so we can have a big push going into the 2 minute warning. Okay, we get into the fourth quarter, and I'm ready to we want to do what the girls, the Cowboys did today.
Big party on November
like to look at it. Look at his head. Look at the screen. His head got bigger since 3 o'clock. Well, guys, thank you so much. And I enjoyed your Maryham. Thank you so much. If anything I can do, please reach out to me, okay? And you too, Mary Bond, for inviting your guests here tonight. You see, Mary is supposed to have been the host here tonight, and she just dropped a bomb on me. And I said, what? But that's okay.
Yeah, I will always come off.
That's all right. We're good. That's okay. We're good. Everything's good. And Nick, you're welcome anytime, my friend.
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure always. Thank you, Tony. Good job.
Appreciate your work that you're doing behind the scene. Tony, and I'm proud of you guys, you and CJ. Y'all keep doing what you're doing. Okay? Thank you, everybody, for watching the Knowledge is Power Podcast Live, and I'll see you on Tuesday. Thank you.